This one is called 269. Um, the second collection was called String Theory, and it's all about male mental health. Because I used to do a lot of work in the community, and people would tell me stories. So I basically fictionalized a lot of these stories and put them into a collection called String Theory. And this is from that collection, 269. You know I'm on your team, right? All day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 24/7, 25/8, 26/9. Anyway, it adds up, right? Men like us take the heaviest hits, the hardest blows. Supposed to stand resolute, are we? Tall and proud, are we? Whilst the internal masonry of the heads crumbles. That ain't right. I'm on your team. You got that? Team 24/7, 25/8, 26/9. I don't care who knows it. Already shouted it out to anyone who would listen, so who can sit and say nothing or talk about the trivial things. The last game, the next game, the best route, the price of petrol, the price of a shit pint, until we get to the truth. Why you're feeling the way you're feeling, however long it takes. Know this and know this strong. I'm on your team, 24/7, 25/8, 26/9. Um, yeah, this one's called Black Symphony. I wrote a poetry collection called Symphony of a Black Man. Um, and basically, it's all about very personal experiences of being black. Um, and so I was really frustrated, really angry. So there's not many jokes in it. Um, and this is what's called Black Symphony. Um, what does it mean to be black? It means struggle. It means being the only one like you in the room. It means the nod to a brother or a sister on the street who you've never seen before. It means having a know your rights card in your inside pocket, a lawyer on speed dial. It means being defined by others. It means wearing a handmade three-piece suit, handmade leather shoes, still putting one item you went into the shop to buy in a basket in case somebody thinks you're stealing. It means being asked for drugs by posh kids. It means being asked for drugs by poor kids. It means having to live up to the highest expectations. It means learning how to control your emotions because somebody will do something at least once a day that will get you thinking, why should I put up with this overtly racist shit? It means learning to suck your teeth, give good side eye because somebody will do something at least once a day to get you thinking, why should I put up with this slight, underhand racist bullshit? It means ignoring the feeling of paranoia because they really are out to get you. It means women wearing a wig for work, going natural on the weekends. It means growing up too fast, dying too young. It means melanin got us looking young, whilst others are looking old. It means police looking at teenagers like fully grown men. It means base. It means our heroes are under greater scrutiny. It means power, pride, and trend setting. It means having to keep the mind sharp, think 10 steps ahead. It means being feared, envied, loved, loathed all at the same time. It means being blamed for all kinds of crap that's got nothing to do with us. It means there is an assumption of a homogenous us. It means being co-opted for every cause, but our own is an afterthought. Watch the diverse associates disappear. It means someone assuming we're always late. It means being an original child of God. It means rhythm. It means harassment. Hear the blue sirens. It means Terry, my lawyer friend, got me on speed dial, calling me every lunchtime saying, you'll never guess what happened to me today. It means having the conversation with your kids. It means if you have to, it means if I have to tell you, you're never gonna know. So, so yeah, I have a friend, Terry, she's a lawyer, and she used to call me up every lunchtime going, you'll never guess what racist stuff happened to me today. So that's why I wrote that one. Um, this one is the poem, the only poem I've ever published that has got a lot of criticism. Um, and when I say a lot of criticism, one person who I know really well contacted me, said like, "Oh, I don't like that one. Oh no, no, I don't like you. No, 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 no. That doesn't sound like any black person I've seen on the TV or read about. No, that one. No, should drop that one. No, I'd scrap that one if I were you." So uh, I didn't scrap it, and it's one of my favorites. And it's called Black Man Work. When all is said and done, a black man must work for himself because society wants to oppress him, always designed not for him, always pushing him into the corner or the county lines or the streets, wanting him to be a man child or a child man, never a man man. Do you get me? Let me explain. Man child, physical strength, but the vulnerability of a baby, so he can be bent to do their bidding with few tears. See how they pull a bull elephant by a cotton string? Still police will shoot him down. Child man, physically weak, but the brain is fine. His brain can run like fire. They chain him to an office desk. He can't break free, not enough strength. See how they pull a bull elephant by a cotton string? That is the advancement. They used to want man child. Now they want child man. They will call this Martin Luther King's progress. Black man must be a man man, must do his own work, make his own plan, must use his physicality for his own purpose, use his hands, use his mind, do his own bidding. If he doesn't do that, he will crack. No matter what his size, he will be a broken child of no use to himself, only entertainment for his oppressors. A black man, to be a man, must work for himself. Um, yeah. This one, um, this one's about my grandmother, um, who, when she was alive, lived in a very small shack. So I wrote this one about her. My Caribbean grandmother sits on the stoop outside her shack, which is no bigger than my toilet back home. She has a scarf on her head, a big handkerchief covering her grey hair. She wears socks in the sweltering heat. Her knees are misshapen. She holds my hand, then rubs her hands over my face. Her eyes are watery. She can't see me. She knows it's hot by the warmth on her face. Every day is hot. She can't see my smile, but she can hear it in the tone of my voice. She has empty gums. Her skin is golden brown. Age has taken all her teeth from her mouth. The Caribbean tooth fairy is a thief who doesn't pay. Her words still ring in my ears, in my dreams. Will you remember me when I'm gone? Uh, yeah, this one's called Soul Cipher. I've done it a few times. It's about when I left university first time, I was unemployed. And this is about that time in London. I was unemployed, I was looking for work. So this poem's all about that experience. It's called Soul Cipher. This is a soul cipher for the ones lost in the ether, unpaid overtime at weekends. This is for diehards only. Strong will, resilient mind, tougher memory. You will not see your reflection in the TV mirror. More melanin, please. We're British. You will not hear your philosophy on the radio. You will not see your ilk in management positions. Your work mentors will be a different shade to you mentally, philosophically, politically, melaninically. Yes, that is a real word. Are you swamped by the melancholy? Anyone can lay their hands on an 808 subwoofer kick or a low-end sine wave these days. Bass vibrations, blow the shit away. This is a soul cipher for diehards only. The weak-willed, the infirm, the ill-informed need not apply. The spiritually bereft will not make it past the first round. Jump when they say jump. How high? No pirouettes, electric slides, freestyles, blocking, locking, popping. No sticky okra for lunch. No yams, no Creo. This is a soul cipher for those who remembered to carry their spirits. Funk Godfather James Brown shouts, take it to the bridge. London Bridge, change. Get on the red bus to another interview. You have experience, yes, no. What are your ethics? How far are you prepared to stretch without breaking? To put your foot on a ladder without knowing who or what it's connected to? Who creates, distributes, monetizes these sky ladders anyway? Which cloud is your dream floating on? Cloud 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ether is one of the first anesthetics, flammable at low temperatures. Ask why you feel a heat burning inside. This is a soul cipher. This is for diehards only. There is always a PA softly spoken, whispering, sorry, some doors aren't meant for everybody. Thank you. Right, this one is called My Adidas. So a few years ago, I took my cousin to Ghana. She works really hard. She needed a holiday, so I said, right, okay, I'm going to Ghana. I'm going to write a poetry collection. You can be my glamorous assistant. So we went to Ghana for a couple of weeks, and she fitted in seamlessly. You know, after about 15 minutes, you wouldn't have she was, moving as fast as the locals. Whilst me, on the other hand, I was just like, his heart, I was like 5 yards behind, getting slower and slower and slower. Um, and well, whilst I was there, we bumped into one of her friends that she grew up with, who was someone to be living there. And he told us this story. So I've put it into a poetic form. And it's true. It's 100% true. When I was younger, we had so much. Big house and a personal driver. In every shop I went to, all I had to do was sign a piece of paper, money direct from my father's account. It didn't affect me. I didn't feel the loss, the reduction in the inheritance. Then one day, my dad said I wasn't a boy anymore. I was a man. Gave me a roof over my head, but that was it. I remember he was away one weekend. There was no food in the cupboard. I had to go out and find it. The shops wouldn't give me any credit. Me and my friend went into the bushes. We bludgeoned a monkey. I think we deep fried it. I missed the personal jets to anywhere, just for a laugh on a weekend, just because my dad fancied a pint in Berlin or a cocktail in Monaco. Ask me what makes a man. Is it how far he's willing to go for a good time or a bite to eat? Ask me about money, costs and values. I'll tell you, my Adidas footwear is my personal driver. And this one is the one I was telling you about earlier, about my daughter, 5 years of anger in 500 words. My mum hated school. She only learnt 4 words. Same shit, different day. I don't like school. The board is too far, too close. Classroom too noisy. The words dance. They don't give me handouts. I hate writing, jumping, moving. I like art, pictures, drawing, dreaming. No drama, no www words. Why force me to go? Spend all day in that hellhole. It is torture. I hate verses, jokes, computers, surprises, bad news. The art teacher has had a breakdown and left. Do you think I'm lazy, crazy, indolent, unwise, idle, foolish, lethargic, silly, sluggish, senseless, slothful, irrational, stupid, confused by the complex phonetics, the rhythm of the system, the spelling compelling the sentence to boogaloo shoo up to woo woo, the syllables ridicule? Dyslexia is no laughing matter. My head hurts. How do you spell anxiety? If I turn down my anger, will I get treatment faster? Bypass the 2-year waiting list. How do you spell demure? I need to find what color font size works. Black background, white text. How do you spell metaphor? I must manage, move forward, cope. I do lists, catalogs, sequences, directories, inventories. I must devise my own class. How do you spell autonomous? I hack into an online account. I buy a library of books. How do you spell surprise? Macbeth, a tale of murder, intrigue, devious plots to keep people down and others ascend. Have you heard of Shakespeare? The final test was a killer. Quiet room to decrease tension? No. Main hall, obnoxious, bellicose, brain freeze. Exam results. Failure, catastrophe, fiasco, disaster, miscarriage of justice. All the words mean the same thing. I thought I was winning. It was all a waste of time. I want this poxy world to stop. Cease. I worked so hard to fall so far. I was a person who dreamed big black words on a white background. My system destroyed by theirs. My mum hates my school, bangs on walls, takes days off, knows 4 new words. Remark? How much? That's 3 words, 4 syllables, mum. Overworked, under pressure. The examiners say they made an error, most effusive in their apologies. Teachers are human, get tired. I am amazed, stunned, shocked by their tone of speech. Even though I am now top of the class, Mum says we cannot afford the cost of their mistakes. What job uses the most effective words? Lawyer. That's what I'm going to do. Then I can ask why, anytime I like. I've got to go now. I'm off to teach my mum how to say same shit, different day in Latin. Oedem, die, diverse, stracore. The last word is pronounced with an A at the end. Right, one more. One more. I don't know, maybe more. I always end on this one called rant. And basically, a friend of mine was going through a tough time. So I just went at him for about 45 minutes. And then I compressed everything I said to him into this 3-minute poem, so that anytime he felt a bit depressed, he could read it. And I think it's my most popular poem. People seem to like it. It's called Rant. Right? I don't get tired. I breathe through my eyes. Can a hairdresser give themselves a haircut? They can cut the fringe, but they can't do the back. You need to trim yours now. Get the hair out of your eyes. You can't see how great you are because you're running in your own lane. Look how far you've come. Other people ain't got that. Other people can't do that. It's like on a starting line and you've got a race to 100. You're passing people who started from 0. You're passing people starting from 1. People who had every advantage. People who were running before the gun went off. And you were starting from -50. In real terms, you're passing Usain Bolt. You are world class. You're A. You're A star. You're A star star. You don't believe me or your mates about how good you are because we're your mates. It's only when somebody who ain't us tells you the same thing that you believe. When you see them a few times, you don't believe them either. Easy way. Write it down. Take your name off. Call yourself Mr. A. Then mail it to somebody you don't know. Who knows about these things? Say you're asking for a friend. Write down all that you've done. How far you've come from your starting block. We're talking A. We're talking A star. We're talking A star star. You're lapping people. You're lapping people for real. So we don't do no pity party. That's not our style. Got to get out of bed. You hear me? You're magnificent. When you wake up, the first thing you've got to tell yourself is, I'm fantastic. No ifs, no buts. If people don't like it, they can get lost. I can't hear you. You need to say, I am fantastic. No ifs, no buts. 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 If people don't like it, they can get lost. You think I talk too much? I must be knackered. This isn't work. How can telling the truth be work? And I did that at Durham Cathedral. It went down really well.
Thank you. That was fantastic. And I think that's something that really kind of pulses through the collection that, that we've read, Wide Awake in Dreamland. Is that kind of real sort of motivational positivity that it's got, that is there in that poem too, despite all the crap that's in there as well. But something, so I'm interested in the use of humour in your work, but something I can't quite get over is the Spider-Man poem, because there's this guy sitting there chilling, but the chilling is, I don't mean to pun, but it is chilling. It's really, really chilling, because it's so disabling, that hostile environment that, okay, that's in France, but that is being lived through.
Yeah.
And it made me think also, I don't know if you've read By the Sea by Abdulrazak Gurnah, but there's a guy there who he's claiming asylum, and he's sitting there and he's pretending that he doesn't speak English because he wants the easier way. But then that's paralyzing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a use of humor there, but sometimes it's conveying a situation that is chilling, and I don't know what I'm asking about that.
Well, I use humor because, if you I do, when I do my teaching and do research into like what effective teaching techniques. And then if people find something funny, they'll remember it 10 times more than if you're really harsh on them. And then if you there's something like 20 times more. If somebody's learning something and they're having fun doing it, it's 20 times more effective than if you go like, you must learn this, you must learn this. And it takes, if you it takes 10 positives comments to counteract one negative one. So there's been studies done on this. So with that information, okay, I have to, if you go like, it's rubbish, that's hard, that's horrible, that's horrible, that's horrible, it's like, people become desensitized to it. So you have to find other ways to make a point, to get the message across and get it to stick in people's heads.
As well, so many poems were about our 2 young kids, and I think it's something quite parental about humour as well. So I know if I'm talking to my daughter about something difficult, I try and make her laugh a little bit as well. So if it's the more serious it is, the more I'll try and just make her laugh a little bit. And that's interesting. Sorry to interrupt.
I was interested too, though. You've been commissioned by the BBC to do what, and were there certain, I don't know, I'm coming from an academic hat on, that I've just been editing articles that were not commissioned by me. I've been doing more sort of routine editing, but it's a special issue for a journal of articles on diversity in the literary marketplace. They've interviewed agents and publishers around, commissioning of work that is diverse in various ways, and what constraints that puts on writers, and so on. So who are the gatekeepers? What are the requirements? How do you get in? So when you've done work for the BBC, have you been have you felt free to do what you want? Has there been certain constraints?
The brief was quite specific. That was the BBC thing was a poem about the COVID experience,
right,
of the region. So people had suffered, people had lost loved ones, people who had worked in hospitals, and brief was it had to be within, I think there was a time limit on it as well, length of time when spoken.
Yeah.
Memory serves me correctly. So yeah, so that was, yeah, the hard bit was, getting the beats to hit, and getting the, it's tough, those kinds of things, because you go like, okay, you've got some really important things to say. You know, you've got some really great material, and they go like, right, you've got to make a decision. Like, well, they've said it's got to be that. If it's not that, it's not happening. So, you know, but I suppose that's the same with everything. Some stuff ends up on the cutting room floor. So yeah, that was that one. Yeah. And then I was on the on ITV Time Teas talking about education and Black Lives Matter. And I think they read one of my books. And I think they thought I was but I stopped doing actually the TV stuff because it's a lot of work for no money. It's just like, oh, call you up. It's like, oh, you know, because I remember I prepared for about a week for the first time I was up doing the Time Teas thing. I appropriately said, you know, and I went down and they recorded me for about maybe an hour and a half. And then they used 5 minutes. And I was like, that's a lot of work for, you know, oh yeah, so people got to see me on the TV, but so and then they, you know, they phone me up again. It's like, what's your opinion on this? Da, 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 da. Then you get on again, and then you just go like, this is a lot of work for. I'm just making their job easy for them. And it's like, what's is it? And it didn't seem to be moving the conversation any further forward. So, been a bit busy now.
I wanted to ask you also, how did you start? How did you start writing?
Well, my dad. I used to have. I was a musician. I still am a musician. And I had a recording studio in Stockton. And Bob and Andy came to my studio to record a poetry collection. And they enjoyed the experience, and they went like, oh yeah, this is, you know, they worked really quickly. And they said like, all right, they came first, I think you came and wanted to do like three tracks. And in the end, they did about 20. And then I ended up being in the band that supported the gigs.
Yeah,
And then Bob went, oh yeah, bit of MA. You're really good at that. Yeah, you should do it. Yeah, you should really do it. Yeah, go on, do it. Yeah. And so I filmed him. I had a little portable video thing. I filmed him with a pint in his hand of Guinness, going like, "Yeah, Dom, you should really do this, MA. Yeah." And so I did it, and I squeezed it in. I was still working. I still did a couple of jobs, so I did it over a year, and I really enjoyed it. And then from that, it was a case of after that, it was a case of like, okay, I started writing, want to do crime books. So I tried that for a bit, left that a while, trying to find my feet, what I wanted to do. But what really kick-started, you know, the poetry thing, as I said, like my son was leaving home and at his first year at university, like he had glandular fever. And so like he got thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner because he's having all these injections. So he said he didn't want to repeat the first year because at the university he's at, they get rid of like 20%, regardless. Like, you know, when you do your exams, you know, the bottom 20, you're gone. So he didn't want to be in that category. So he took you know, so he's on this medication. He was getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And as I said earlier, I said, you know, my cousin passed away when he was a similar age. The truth of the matter is he committed suicide, right? And my son looks a lot like him, so that kind of triggered stuff in behind my head. So, you know, I had this well of emotions. So what do I do with this well of emotions? You know, put them on a piece of paper. It's a case of like, right, this is sort of stuff I wanted to put in songs. And the poetry format seemed to work, especially like my background as a songwriter. present a case of like, so actually writing a poem is like really freeing for me because I'm used to doing things like 3.5 minute songs. It's got to have a verse, got to have a chorus, da, da, da. But you know, a poem you can do whatever you like. You know, and you know, the only rule I really set myself is that I try to keep them. I try not to go over 3 minutes when I write something because I'll go like, okay, people have a certain attention span, and each poem is like a monologue, so I'm trying to get a particular viewpoint across, a particular angle, a particular view. I think to myself, well, I should be able to do that in under 3 minutes. So yes, it's all his fault really.
That's an interesting thing about comparison with songs and writing songs and formality, the branding songs, structure. And then within your, because you write mainly for kind of free verse or organic verse. However, there is a definite form there. It's about more like organic form because you're finding your form. There's refrains coming in. There's some parallelism going on.
Yeah, like standing still, for instance. You know, there's a rhythm there. You did it, walking past.
So, and because you're interested in speaking, it's very much through different voices.
Yeah.
So kind of you talking about this poem there in 3 different voices. So you're putting different voices together. How does this affect your sense of form on the page? How does that translate onto the page and with like line breaks and stanza breaks?
Yeah. Well, I've always been, when I was younger, I used to buy smash hits, and you know, you'd get the lyrics, and so you know, you look at the lyric on the page, and like you know, you tie it up with the music, and you go like, oh, so that's what it says. So I've always got this thing. It's got to be if I do a poem, it's got to work on the page, and it's got to work in the live performance arena as well. So it's got to have that duality about it. So that really affects, you know, the line break and the spacing on the page. But I want to be able to somebody to, when they're reading it off the page, I want them to get the rhythm that I'm putting onto it. And you know, I can, you know, without having me read it, if they've got the book in their hand, they should, you know, get the flow, the rhythm of, you know,
through the spatial
where the hit points are, where the beats are. So, but yeah, I mean, I do find doing poetry, it's because I'm very freeing, because you know, I do put a bit of structure on there, but you know, it's almost, I don't say it's like jazzy, but you know, you can change the rhythm halfway through, you know, and it's all right.
Yeah, because that might be a different voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Changing it to a different voice, different perspective.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I guess writing rather than music, it has a different reach, doesn't it? Although you know, we're always, I don't know, I guess I come from a place where I'm always listening for the lyrics in the music. So if I'm listening to a song, the words are really important. I don't know whether that's just because I've ended up being a words person, or but poetry will have a different reach to the music. So I mean, I guess it's the classic question of who do you write for, but when you're writing, who are you speaking for? To, you know, is there a sense of particular audience?
Well, but basically it's there's two audiences. There's you know, there's the audience that, you know, is familiar with the topics, and there's the audience that isn't familiar with the topics. So for instance, I think like, you know, the hustlers and the hustler at the party, with the one about Wesley Snipes. So that one is like, okay, the thing about, oh, are you Idris Elba today? Are you Harold from the Halifax adverts? You know, that's a thing that lots of black people can relate to. Like, or Bob Marley or Michael Jackson or whatever. you know, there's that aspect. But you know, it's a case of like, but with something like that, there's that knowing look, like, okay, if you're black, you know that experience. But if you're not, then that poem might give you an insight into that experience.